What I love is the power of music to communicate emotion and the power of music to affect people emotionally. And different types of music are good at communicating different types of emotion. I was born in New York City, and when I was growing up, I loved New York so much because it was the land of the Velvet Underground and Andy Warhol, and it was dirty, and it was filled with artists and musicians and writers, and it was crazy. I moved to LA because LA still has a strangeness to it, especially in East LA where I live. So there's still a lot of artists and writers, and I find it really inspiring. People that come together, people that fall apart. The first time I went to a nightclub in New York was 1980, and so I spent all these years living in nightlife, and I sort of wanted to make an album that was inspired by living in nightclubs. So last night was that. It was just like trying to make an album that for me felt like a night out in New York. And so it starts very simple and optimistic, then it gets a little bit heavier, and it ends very spacey and strange. I mean, I've spent a lot of my life drinking and doing drugs. I don't drink or do drugs anymore, simply because I got too old and the consequences became too severe. Every drug is different, and the way individuals respond to drugs is different. So it's very hard for me to generalize about drug use. People use music to sit quietly by themselves, and they also use music to dance with 10,000 other people. Music is used to send armies into war, but it's also used in churches. It's so powerful, and it doesn't exist. You know, literally, technically, you know, when people talk about music existing, they point to CDs or they point to vinyl. All music is air moving a little bit differently. I mean, right now, I'm sitting here and I can hear all these different sounds. It's the same as music, except that music is a little more structured. But once music hits my ear, it's gone. You know, you can't touch music, you can't see it, you can't put your hands on it, you can't smell it, but it can get 100,000 people jumping up and down, screaming at the top of their lungs. My approach to making music is just to keep writing. You know, even if I don't like what I'm doing, I just keep writing. And if I wake up one day and have no inspiration, just keep writing. Sometimes I'll go into my studio and I'll have no idea what I want to do, and there won't be any inspiration. 5 minutes later, I'll find something that I love and be completely inspired by it. The main goal in life is to try and make music that I really love, and I don't care how it's made, I don't care who's singing, I don't care what instruments are involved. All I care about is the actual music itself. And so if that means singing a song myself, or using old sampled vocals, or working with rock stars, or working with unknown vocalists, anything, I'll do anything as long as the song, the piece of music, has an emotional quality to it. I mean, somehow, by complete accident, I've become a public figure musician. Because I really thought that I'd spend my whole life as a university professor, making music in his spare time that no one ever listened to. But somehow I'm a weird public figure. And one of the things that I try to do as a public figure is draw attention to issues that I think are important and try and help causes that I think are important, because the world could be a better place. And if I can, in my own tiny, tiny, small way, try to help make the world a better place, that seems like a good use of a life. I don't love the music business as much. I don't like fame as much. I don't like award shows and all that. But I still love music itself just as much, if not more, than when I was a little kid.